How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we've got some Pokemon rumors to talk about, so let's get started right away. First things first is, of course, RIDDLER KHU, who's back with some new riddles. Now, if you don't know who RIDDLER KHU is, quick explanation, he's just a guy who leaks a bunch of information, but he does it in riddles, and he's been correct in the past like 99% of the time, hence why we cover his info. But there's also rumors and stuff coming to us from Eclipse, who's also a kind of Riddler who's more 50-50 on his info, but he's been posting a bunch of stuff recently. We're going to take a look at all of that too. We're going to start things off first and foremost from what RIDDLER KHU has said, which is the following. He posted a picture of this movie called The Lake House, and then said, try to project their relationship into Titan. And Titan is the code name for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. That's what the code name is for that game. And this movie, The Lake House, which I've never watched it. I don't know. Have you watched it? Just give me a nod over there. No, you haven't seen it? Probably never seen it. No. Either way, I would assume this is more of a romantic movie, but apparently, as far as I'm told, according to Ami at Japan here, says the latest KHU riddle, this story is a love story that transcends time and space. Again, I don't really know much about it, but apparently there is aspects of time travel, right? The Lake House time travel love story movie. So basically, yeah, it's more or less a love story, right? It's a movie all about that. Apparently, it's an awful movie according to Blaine, which is fair enough. But basically, he's telling us here that their relationship is projected within Scarlet and Violet. The kind of relationship they have, which I guess is like this, time travel aspect to it, which is something we're going to see, I guess, within the story and the world and just the concept of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, or Titan as we can call it, I guess, in this case. So what are you guys' thoughts and opinions on that? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on that, guys. But we do have, of course, more stuff to talk about this later. There is some theories and stuff like that from other people that I think are worthwhile to talk about when it comes to that specific subject. Nonetheless, though, we got some other stuff happening over here with Eclipse, who's been tweeting a bunch of different stuff. For example, he's retweeted this thingy right here, which was a post about specifically Lechonk, and I guess what it could be based on. This, I think, is a Portuguese post. I could be wrong. I think this is a Portuguese post, though, for fact. But it's all about Lechonk, and it just goes into, like, I think I found the possible inspiration for Lechonk's Evo. If you take into account that the RIDDLER KHU's leaks, there's a legend in Brazilian and Portuguese and Spanish folklore about a baroness who was turned into a pig along with her 7 children. And then he continues on and further adds to this. And shout out to Laurent here, Hemlock, by the way. There are variations in the story, but basically the human is always cursed to turn into a pig and her children into piglets until they find a specific ring. And they mostly look for this ring at night. They also often haunt unsuspecting travelers. I think here he actually links to it, saying, well, that's it, basically. So, yeah, what do you guys think about that? Your thoughts and opinions would be appreciated. But he also says this as well, which is a post from Pixelpart. If you guys do not know who Pixelpart is, he's a legitimate leaker who was being correct multiple times in the past, and he was the man who I know Pixelpart. I love Pixelpart. He's the greatest fucking guy ever, dude. I love him. He actually leaked Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. He actually drew these images that were really cool to hint at those games. And he apparently said, I try to keep away from these types of rumors for so long. And he was talking about specifically this Splatoon thing. And then the fact that people are like, oh, are we going to be getting a new Switch? He says, but way too much smoke now. It looks like a new model could be announced towards the end of the year. Apparently works with the current carts, improved peripherals, I guess, retains branding and form factor. No more info than that. But basically another Switch revision, maybe a larger one. Think like 3DS XL type deal, right? This is what I'm assuming with this, rather than, like, I guess, or maybe like, because we already have a small Switch, we have a regular Switch, and we have the OLED Switch. So maybe now we're going to get something that's a bit more beefed up or something along those lines. Hopefully not a Wii U type of deal, but we'll see. And even Eclipse says it's real. So we continue on, which is this right here. This is the next little riddle from him, which I haven't really figured this out, and I don't really know what he's trying to say here, but he basically shows N and cannot remember his name, but he is one of the Elite Fours from, Hoenn. He's one of the Elite Fours from Hoenn, and he then says, big change. Now, I don't know if he's trying to imply that these guys in some way, like, aspects of their personality going to be in characters we're going to be seeing. I don't know what the deal is, but it is what it is. Then he posts a bunch of images here of these kind of like, I guess, I don't even know what these things are. It's just kind of like leaf-looking creatures, like basically females that are like, kind of merged into like I guess flowers, so to say. Multiple different ones. I think that's from Yu-Gi-Oh right there. I could be wrong. Actually, no, is this from Yu-Gi-Oh? I think it is, yeah. But yeah, then there's also this image of this character. I don't know who this character is. If you read the manga, if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, like the more recent stuff, because again, I only really watched like GX, to be honest, and the original, so I don't really know much about any of this. It's a girl on a motorcycle with red hair, So if you know who she is, maybe you can find a connection here and let us know in the comment section down below. I don't really know much about that, but your guys' thoughts and opinions would be appreciated on that. Just let us know what you figure out, if you do figure anything out. Now let's lead into the big breakdown. This is the one you guys were waiting for. This is why you should always wait for these videos, because there's a lot to say from Soul Silver. Soul Silver does these massive breakdowns, but here's what he said. Time to tackle this, though he could have picked Tenet 2, and Tenet is another movie that recently came out. He says, I think we have a good idea of it already. It's character month, so probably is about the new characters. The professors speaking through time makes sense. 1, they're new characters we already seen. 2, we know these games are about the past and the future, which are also the professors' names, which is Turo, specifically for futuro, which is future, and Sada for pasado, which is the past, right? So it makes sense. Names. 3, they are the version exclusives, then they will never meet, but they may still speak with each other. This is where we come to my main theory. Whether it's the professors or some random NPCs, the movie relationship is that they speak through a singular way/item from the present to the past or vice versa. It may not be the professors, but the professors may be speaking to the future in Violet or the past in Scarlet. This may not even be part of the main plot, but could just be some fun lore between the gym leaders or so, or even side quest characters. The main issue with there being a literal time gap connection between the two games are the other characters. Basically, the gym leaders would be different in the past or the future. How could Nemona be in both unless she's very special, of course, which we do think Nemona, which is like the rival we're going to be having in this game, is quite an interesting character, which is quite special in my opinion, but we'll see. Continue on. The only way I can see one game taking place in the past and one in the future is if the time gap was minimal, like 3 years max. But then, like, what's the point? This could also not be related to the characters, but in the same way, just related to the plot. That people communicate with the past and the future through a portal box item, and that's how the region works, and or then how some shenanigans unfold. This scene makes me feel like this is them sending a message through time in a Pokeball, which also fits perfectly with the analogy from Steins Gate. Steins Gate is an anime which specifically is about time travel, but it's time travel where a message is sent through a microwave to the past, right? Or the future. I cannot remember exactly, but that was actually one of the animes used as a riddle by Riddler KHU in the past, and here we have a literal Pokeball most likely going through space and time, through this crystal warp thingy-majingy, and it is what it is. But it says, I think KHU will elaborate, so I add more to this thread. Or, of course, this riddle could still be about something completely different, but this seems probable. Maybe these two games are in 2 different dimensions, one dealing with the past and one with the future. I could be wrong, the time travel opinion feels more likely, but it's worth checking the Korean film. The endings could be important, and or being in love, our first true Pokemon love story. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but Belmo here said the following. It's actually a US remake of a Korean film called Two Mare, which focuses on 2 lovers living in 2 different timelines. The MacGuffin that allows them to communicate is a mailbox. As a mailbox, I'm a woman. I'm a woman has to time travel to make both timelines merge, which is really confusing. It is a bit strange. But nonetheless, if you remember when they showed that the dragons, I guess, that they were like in a split screen almost, I think this might mean that the games might take place in different time periods. So maybe, I just can't see how, different times would mean different landscapes, different characters, unless it's a matter of 5 years max. But then how much can happen, 5 years in the past or the future? Different dimensions make more sense. I still think the futuristic theme and ancient themes will be in each respective game, but I think they will separate from each other. I don't think there will even be a mention of the other professors in the opposite game, which I don't think there either will be. But again, quite an interesting theory nonetheless. This actually really is quite an intense one if you really think about it. Like, seriously, it's quite a lot to say about this. But we move on to the next one, which is this one right here. So there was a post from RIDDLER KHU, which was the other one we saw, which specifically said Titan V and then a bunch of Japanese text. And basically the translation is, finally, I was scared there wasn't an evil team in Scarlet and Violet, but they are probably are. V equals villains, and Kurozu equals crows in English. So Team Crow, or close to that, Team Blackbird. Thanks to, specifically HH Jan again, giving me a lesson in Japanese, sounding out words into English. It comes from this manga. And this manga right here, if we can see it, is Crows, which is a Japanese high school delinquent manga series by Hiroshi Takahashi. Ladies and gentlemen, we know who our villains are going to be. We already know they're going to be delinquents in this case. And it makes sense. If literally think about this. this whole game has us as students, right? We're students that have these professors. We're going to school. We have a school uniform. What are the most logical villains to have? Delinquents, you know, bad students, students that don't listen, that go against the system. You know what I mean? Basically, that's what this is. And it's perfect, right? Crows, a literal manga with delinquents, and the name possibly being Team, you know, like Team Crows. Just makes sense. Or Crows is just like the name of the manga. It was a good way to point out that they're going to be delinquents, which is quite interesting. And I think this shows us the Titan villains because this manga in Japanese. The story is about the, you know, of the bad guys, basically. He says, here's the goods. Nothing is 100%, but this seems very certain since it's character month, which is right now, every month. So July is character month. Last month was new Pokemon month. And in the past, he's done a few other different months with different themes behind them. And this month, it's specifically characters. But he says the following. It makes so much sense. High school bullies, teenage delinquents. I'm still trying to think of other names too. Crows and or blackbirds could be plural. Or maybe the sound of a crow makes, or Team Raven. Though just crows sounds teenage delinquent enough for me. So yeah, high school bullies as villains when the game takes place in a school makes sense. I expect them to be like Team Yell or Team Skull, more of a nuisance, which I expect as well, which is a bit disappointing, but it does make sense with the premise, right? It does fit the theme. This premise does feel like they aren't the true villains, just like the front, like Team Skull, and the true villain could be someone not introed yet, which maybe could be the, you know, the professors, in my opinion, that are using these kids for their bidding, or could be the professors. As long as it's nothing like Team Yell and we can battle many of them, I'm happy. I'm just out here looking for alternative names too. Team Claw, Team Talon, Team Beak. Also, how about a brand new Murkrow form or a split evolution? I never like Honchkrow, but hey dude, it is what it is. That could happen. But this makes total sense, man. This is the most logical direction they can go with this. And I personally, I'm going to be honest, I love it. Okay, I love the idea of this. This actually sounds pretty awesome, dude. Like pretty awesome. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing, which is from Lumios here, which is a recent image that popped up that we haven't really got much of a breakdown on, but basically it's one of these like collage image rumors. Here's what he says: thread with potential Scarlet and Violet spoilers. I'm bored as heck, thanks to Pokemon Company, and I don't like to cover leaks that aren't 100% on YouTube, so I'm going to talk about this here. Not confirmed, obviously, but I'm not going to name a few reasons I feel this could be legit, and here he starts with. 1. This was apparently posted on May 31st, from what I'm seeing others say. So that's before the second trailer. 2, you'll notice a pig Pokemon bottom left. This was after Khu revealed his riddle on the pig, but still a wild call as Khu said it would be white with makeup, yet this depicts a black pig with mud on its face. While an Iberian pig was an easy call, it's specific pig of a pig with mud covering its face that does it for me, because it goes Lechunk's got like the mud in the face. Resembles Lechunk? No, again, a day before its official reveal. The rest of Khu's post, a reference came after this collage was posted. 3, Khu mentioned a lot of bipedal Pokemon. Certainly a lot of seemingly bipedal Pokemon depicted in this image. As you guys can see, there are quite a few possible ones right there. We continue on. He says that Khu mentioned a hardcore queen, looks like one to me in the bottom left above the pig. Soul Silver mentioned in the post that Khu could be hinting at this hardcore queen having a dagger. Again, it's depicted in the image. Khu hinted at a Dunsparce Evo. The snake depicted is called a feathered viper, and a Dunsparce with wings, likely for an Evo for it, would likely match that description, as it would literally have feathers. 6, while subjective, Khu mentioned there was a cool fish Pokemon. I see 2 on here that could match that description, and do seem pretty cool. Lastly, there's an Amazon box with legs. Obviously, that won't be in Scarlet and Violet, but I could certainly see that being a mimic Pokemon. Something else people are believing to be in the game, if interpretations of Khu's riddles are correct. So take this with a grain of salt, but I feel like this isn't being talked about enough, which, I don't know, man, it is quite interesting. There's a lot here to kind of break down, to be honest. It's a lot in this image. We know that like the little like squiddy boy up here, that's blue. We know that that's already been hinted at, this concept of like there being like a new frog Pokemon that's kind of like more humanoid. That's already been kind of talked about in general. Like that theme has already come up, that idea has come up. So we know that most likely is going to be real, but we'll have to wait and see how that actually pans out, turns out, and all that sort of stuff. Again, nothing right now that we can much say about that. But let's move on to the next subject and see what there is to be said. So this was a post again by Soul Silver, who says the following. This great art by Mad Zygarde Core, which is our boy Subarashi. Look at this. Look at our boy Subarashi coming through with the amazing artwork, by the way. So he basically designed a legendary Pokemon for a made-up Pokemon game that came into his head, Pokemon Glass. This is a sick design, by the way. But basically he says here, great art, gave me a fantastic theory. If you go to the official Scarlet and Violet website, you will see stained mosaic glass everywhere, which is true. If you look, you've got the mosaic design, like the splintered glass everywhere, right? And he says, everywhere. Likewise, the scene at the end of the second trailer, which is the image you see right there on the top right, basically was like moving glass. What if the third legendary is a dragon, or snake or something, dragon made totally of glass? I think that would be really cool. This ties into many theories I have, but to specifically the one I posted last night. If it's made of glass, there is nothing in it, and light can pass right through it. Dark Dragon could still fit, as well as connections to the sun and light, but this also adds another layer, which is to the deity and angelic aspect I mentioned in previous tweets. Iberia is historically a very Catholic region. Where do we find glass like that? Well, in windows of Catholic cathedrals. When light shines through that stained glass, many different colors shine through. I can just see Masuda and Omori in a La Sagrada Familia seeing sunlight shining through this giant stained glass sun, and then they look around in the entire cathedral to see all the colors shining through windows. If this third legendary theory is wrong, at the very least, this is what these games are based on. But yeah, man, that is crazy, dude. It's a great design, by the way, by Subarashi. You guys should check out his channel. He's like one of our old school boys here. Been around for ages. Long time viewer, long time friend. Just yeah, check him out. But let's move on to the next thing, which is this right here. So none of this is reliable, even specifically talking about a trailer. But as far as I can tell, there's a holiday in Japan tomorrow, and this is all in regards to like the fact that I think Ami at Japan has been tweeting saying there's going to be a trailer, but apparently in Japan, the Tanbata Festival is celebrated on July 7th, which was today, apparently. But apparently it's not a holiday. They still have to work there. And, you know, would they drop a trailer then? Basically, no. So, yeah, no trailer today, as you guys may have noticed already by now. But it is what it is. You know, not much we can do about that. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, move on. I realize I haven't given much thoughts on past and future forms. This is something that I haven't talked about much either. But let's get into it a bit. So, this concept below is genius. Of course, this is exactly being in this game feels like it could be a bit convoluted. However, now that we know there will be many multiple features going on, I can totally see it. So basically, Elasteva here put together this idea of like what it would look like if you basically had like, you know, I guess a proto Mankey and a proto Primate, basically like ones that were like, you know, Proto, or I guess, what's the other version? Neo forms. One form set from the past, one from the future of these different Pokemon, which actually I think is a cool concept. Something like this happening, obviously fan art and fan concepts won't ever be 100% correct, but if something like this does exist, I think as a community we've gotten really close. Plus, this is a good excuse for me to tell you to go and check out all the amazing art, which yes, is true. Definitely check out Elasteva. They make some great art. Do give them some look. Do give them a look-see. Take a look at their stuff because it is great content over there. So definitely give it a look-see. But yeah, what do you guys think about this idea? Like the idea of past and future, like, you know, Pokemon. What do you think of the concept? What do you think about the idea? Let me know in the comment section down below. And I just want to hear what you guys have to say about it, because there is quite a lot that can be, you know, kind of discerned and broken down from just that information. So that's pretty much that for that info, guys. I think we've gone through everything in this video that we had to go through. You know, I think that's pretty much it for the main information. Of course, I want you guys' thoughts and opinions on all of this. Let me know what you think about all of it. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? What do you think about all of it? And of course, also, guys, I want to just mention that we have a brand new video out on Ruffled Rowlet Plays, which is our other channel. We just posted our most recent video, which I'm going to show to you guys really quick here. It's this video right here, which is 100 Days as a Magma Grunt. It's a game that was put together for us by Doof. He made this game for us. I hit him up. He made it for us, and we made a great video out of it. Please go check it out. I spent a lot of time editing this one together as well. The last two videos have both been like really hefty to put together, but do give it a look-see, give it a watch. And also, we started a new Discord for Ruffled Rowlet Plays, where we are going to be posting all these games. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff about ROM hacks. So if you're into that kind of content, definitely go over there. There's going to be a link down below for that stuff as well, so you can check it out. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.